More breaking news for you now. Sacramento police say that at 3 p.m. this afternoon, they will be making a major announcement about the tragedy on K Street. It's been exactly 1 month since Sacramentans woke up to learn that their city, the capital city, was the scene of the country's latest mass shooting. As bullets flew while people were heading home around 2 a.m. April 3rd, and what had been a fun night out at the clubs along K Street. 6 people were killed, a dozen more were hurt. One of them, one of 2 brothers arrested and accused as possible shooters in the incident, Smiley and DeAndre Martin. A third man, Mtula Payton, has been identified by police as being wanted in connection with the crime, but officers haven't been able to find him. Even though police were on patrol just around the corner from where the shooting started that night, calls for increased public safety and greater investment in certain communities have inundated City Hall. 2 people who were on the ground right away after the shooting and have been working with the community to lower tensions since are Leah Shank, the founder of Impact, and Mervyn Brookins Sr., who runs the Brother to Brother Mentoring and Gang Intervention Program. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Looking back on last month, Leah, what is standing out in your mind as you think back on what happened?
The pain just within our community and within our city, you know, watching mothers and fathers weep, watching children weep, begging for their fathers and begging for their family members to come back. It was just an overwhelming pain that all of us felt throughout the entire community, and everybody that was there. It was a very somber day.
Mervyn, what are you thinking about this morning looking back?
I would agree that the sense of loss of security and safety moving forward has been devastating in our community. But as Leah said, the pain that is still ongoing from the children to the entire community is still heavy.
Mervyn, shortly after the tragedy on K Street, City Police revealed that the violence was gang-related. And I think for a lot of people, the situation shifted from violence is all of our problem kind of thing to, oh, gang stuff has nothing to do with me. This only happens over there. You work with some of the people who were out on K Street that night. You knew one of the men who was killed. Why do people in all parts of the city need to be concerned about disrupting gang activity?
Well, because violence can happen anywhere, anytime. And I think when one of the unfortunate consequences when it was labeled gang related was exactly as you said, it took away the sting of what happened, and people felt comfortable. Some people felt comfortable, well, that wouldn't happen in our neighborhood. So they were less interested in what happened. And I think that the magnitude of the tragedy is everybody wanted to know why. Everybody wanted an explanation. And once they got that explanation that it was gang related, then people went back to their norms. But unfortunately, this is a real reminder that this type of situation can happen anywhere. No neighborhood is immune to this type of violence. And if we don't deal with it here and now, and where it's prominent, eventually it'll reach everyone's doorstep. But by then, you know, you would have had to suffer a tragedy to get involved.
Leah, your feelings about kind of how the sentiment in the community may have shifted after it was labeled gang-related?
You know, in my opinion, that has no bearing on human life. We lost human lives, and I think that's what we need to focus on. I think it's also important for us to talk about that this is state-sanctioned violence. Where there's poverty, there's going to be crime. Where there's crime, there's going to be weapons. Where there's weapons, we're going to have loss of lives. So we have to reframe the conversation to address just that. We need to invest in our communities. We need to be given the tools to be able to help our community. That's what we need. So I'm not a gang expert. I won't even answer that because I can't profess to know how to answer that specific question. But I can tell you when it comes to our community and our people, we need investment.
Leah, I know you've been in constant contact with some of the families who lost the most during this shooting. There were a lot of calls for the city to pay for funerals, for the city to provide counseling and other supports. Have you seen that happening? How have these families been doing?
It's been a struggle. You know, the day of, there's a lot of sentiment. Everybody wants to help and everybody is giving their condolences. But, you know, as days progress, that lessens. And so when it came time for these ceremonies and these services to take place, We didn't get a lot of our calls answered, but I will say that Councilmember Rick Jennings and Daryl Roberts both financially did contribute, and I have to give them their credit because the families greatly appreciate that.
Mervyn, this incident really wounded a whole city in Del Paso Heights for the folks you work with. How are people doing there?
We're still suffering. We're still mourning, still hurting, trying to put the pieces back together, trying to figure out how we can prevent this from happening again. But it's a challenge. You know, as Leah said, there has to be investment and there has to be long-term commitment. We can't continue to try to answer these long-term problems with short-term solutions. One of the biggest issues in doing this type of work is retaining good people to help. But you can't do that when they don't know if they'll be working from 1 month to the next. So it has to be real investment with those of us that do prevention and intervention. But there's a lot of organizations out there that do healing circles and provide other type of alternatives to this type of activity that need support and need help.
And just quickly from both of you before we're out of time, where does the city go from here? We're 1 month in right now, and some of the things that people have called for are a longer term sort of fix. Where do we go from here, Leah?
We have to heal at this point, and we have to address that there were other people that were shot that day, and that there were a lot of people out there that were running for their lives that day. They too are affected. So we have to definitely heal as a community. So we have to get to that, and we have to be able to provide a healing space for our community members to be able to do that.
All righty, Mervyn, where do we go from here?
I think we, in terms of intervention and prevention, I think we build upon the successes that we've had, the lessons that we've learned over the few years. Now is not a time for a knee-jerk, quick fix reaction. Now is a time to really come together and get a long-term plan and moving forward, both city and community-based organizations. With respect to healing, that's definitely needed. And you have organizations like the Neighborhood Wellness Foundation, City of Refuge, Rose Empowerment Center, Impact SAC, that are doing just that. They need help, they need resources, and I think if we can provide that and build on the successes that we have, we'll move the ball along.
Mervyn, Leah, Impact, Brother to Brother, thank you so much for your perspective this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.